Hi everyone, a good day to everyone, and welcome to the astrology forecast for March 2021 for all the 12 signs of the zodiac. This is going to be a very long video, so if you want to go straight to your own signs, I put a timestamp below this video so you can go straight to your own zodiac sign or any zodiac you want to listen to. So without further ado, here is your forecast for March. Aries, from the 1st to the 4th of March, Venus in Pisces is in your 12th house of rest, introspection, looking forward, looking inwards in a beautiful sextile to Uranus in Taurus in your 2nd house of money, income, values, and talents. It appears that the first 4 days of the month, you are permitting yourself the possibility to step back, maybe a little bit of spending money on some things that will make you happy and fill you up with joy. On things experiences that allow you to escape the world. It is also very likely that you might receive an unexpected sum of money from work. Maybe something you didn't expect. Something you asked for a pay raise a while back, but you didn't get it or forgotten about it. Then you might receive it all of a sudden. For some of you, will also most likely to realize that sometimes the best course of action is no course of action at all. Sometimes waiting is the best option, and in your case it's most likely to pay off. It is also time for a highly romantic possibilities, maybe a quick getaway with a romantic partner. On the 4th of March, Mars enters Gemini in your 3rd house until the 23rd of April. Around this period, you will be feeling much more eager to connect with people and communicate, also with networking. This is also a very good time to embark on sales, good for business development and propositions. This is a good time to sell, and you'll find it very easy to connect with people and to talk to people. You'll find it easier to get your point across. There's also a good possibility of good short trips around this period. On the 4th of March, from the 13th to the 30th of March, Mars in Gemini in your 3rd house is going to be in a beautiful aspect in Saturn, with Saturn in Aquarius on your 11th house of friends. This is exact on the 22nd of March. This looks like you have the ability to take people on board to help them achieve their objectives, kind of apprenticeship thing, or vice versa. Someone will take you in and take you for an apprenticeship. If you ask for it, you'll get it. It's like very easy, very communication-wise, it's very easy. This is also a very good time to get in touch with friends, your old friends you have lost contact over the years. This is a very productive period for you, Aries, and so don't miss it, just go for it. On the 13th to the 30th of March, Mars in Gemini in your 3rd house is going to be in a beautiful aspect with Saturn in Aquarius to take, on the 13th of March, we have the new moon of the month in Pisces in your 12th house. It's the house where things are happening behind the scenes, and also associated with dreams, surrendering with past lives. You might dream a lot at this time as well. Some of you will dream a lot around this time. May I suggest remember your dreams? It could tell you something. The new moon is in conjunct with Venus and Neptune. Venus, by the way, is your ruler of your seventh house of partnership and your house of money. And it is a beautiful sextile, sextile with Pluto in Capricorn and your house of career. It looks like you are taking a break from work, talking to your boss about taking a leave or a holiday perhaps, because you'll find it easy. It's gonna be easy around this time talking to people. It looks like you are completing a career stage that you require a great deal of grind on your end, and that you require to let go of some of your old values, because Venus also rules your house of values. You will finally find more time for yourself. This is a good idea to rest, plan holidays, and some of you will focus on stepping back from the limelight and focus on your romantic relationship, because finally, professionally, things are going so well. From the 15th of March, Mercury is entering Pisces on your 12th house. Some of you will be thinking a great deal about people who once part of your life, who are no longer part of your life at this time. Maybe an old colleague, perhaps. Maybe catching up with an old colleague. Some of you will be focused on your old way of thinking, working, and are most likely to feel very grateful that you do have to work the same way that you used to. I mean, that you do not have to work the way you used to. From the 17th to the 19th of March, Venus is in conjunct the Sun, is conjunct the Sun in Pisces in your 12th house, and it's sextiling Pluto in your 10th house of career. This is a continuation of the beautiful energy of the new moon. And around the 30th of March, which by the way is a very healing and very soothing energy from an emotional level. So if you are thinking a lot or you've been hurt, this is time for healing. Maybe that getaway will get you feeling better. From the 20th of March, the Sun moves into Aries in your first house. Sun loves to be in Aries, by the way. It's exalted in Aries. It feels good in Aries. So a lot of Arians will have an increase of energy on the 20th of March until the end of the month. From the 21st of March until the 14th of April, Venus is transiting to your first house, and this is a good time refreshing your wardrobe, altering your looks. So for those of you who are thinking of tattoo or lip enhancement or Botox or liposuction or facelift, this is a very good time for you, Arians, because the result will be very good. You will be looking very, very pretty or handsome. Where was I? At the time of the moon, at the time of the full moon, a grand trine. There's a grand trine in air signs between the moon in your 7th house of marriage and partnership, Saturn in Aquarius in your house of long-term plans, and Mars in Gemini, your 3rd house of communication. It looks like you're going to make a long-term plans with your partner, and you will get along easier and a lot better. When I say partner, it could be a romantic partner or your spouse or a business partner. Okay? So communication around this time is really brilliant. Now, it looks like you're going to make a single... God, where was I? I'm reading this, by the way. It looks like you are going to make a long-term plans with your partner. Yeah. Oh, and better communications. So you are finding yourself, a lot of you or some of you will be finding yourself surrounded by friends or colleagues in a possible, and there's a possibility of flirtatious mode, you know, or some of the friendship that could turn into a relationship. There is a downside though. Um, as this Mars in Gemini in your third house of communication is squaring Mercury conjunct Neptune in your 12th house, the person you are having a great time, a great chemistry, great chemistry with is probably hiding something from you, or the other way around. You are not really completely honest, or the other person is not completely honest. So you might not be, or you might be hiding something from them, so it's not as transparent as as it seems at the first sight. If you're about to seal a business deal, buying or selling, which is very likely to happen on the 20th of March, give it take 3 days before or 3 days after. There is most likely a hidden clause, and I strongly recommend that you read the fine lines of any contract, the prints, or of any contracts or any deal, or hire a lawyer to get through the agreements, or ask someone to proofread any documents for signing. Okay, so that's the only downside. So if you are, the rest is all pretty. Okay, the best days in March are the 16th of March, 18th of March, and the 31st of March, when everything is sextiling. So Mars is, Sun sextiling Pluto, Mars and Venus sextiling Pluto on the 22nd of March, and when it's trining Saturn and all that. But the challenging days are 24th of March, when Mercury is squaring Mars. Remember? 24th of March. So be careful what you say. Because once you say something, it's very difficult to take it back. And you can't really take it back. So, and be careful with arguments at this time. Yeah? Okay, that's it for you, Aries. And now on to Taurus. Most of you Taurians are likely to enjoy the first 3 weeks of March, because there's a lot of Piscean energy sextiling the Taurian energy. From the 1st to the 4th of March, Venus is going to be in Pisces in your house of friends, sextiling Uranus in Taurus in your first house of identity. The physical body, physical body, physical body. And new beginnings, and it's exact on the 3rd of March. So actually it's tomorrow already. You will be feeling confident about your plans for the future around this time, and it looks like you're getting help from your friends or allies, or collaborators. What is happening to me? In putting together your long-term plans into practice and taking them into the next steps. Planning and completion. You can accomplish so much if you put your mind to it, with the help of some friends. You will also be like everybody's sweetheart at this time. Everyone wants to spend time with you. Everyone loves you, admires you, and you will be much appreciated at this time. Anything you do will be appreciated. It looks like a time when you will be drawn to be drawn to spending time with friends in general. On the 4th of March, Mars switches sign from Taurus, where you were recently feeling impatient, tired, and irritable, and short-tempered. Now you can breathe a sigh of relief, because Mars is moving into your into Gemini in your second house of income and money and values until the 23rd of April. So it's a long period. You are gonna go on a spending mode, Taurians. This is an energy of treat yourself, and like, I deserve it, I deserve that. So be careful not to burn a hole in your pocket at the same time. And you also seem to be bringing in the cash. In terms of financial income, you might be selling more than usual. You will be essentially more competitive when it comes to striking a deal, purchasing and selling things. An increase of financial gain is in the picture. So, yay. But yeah, when money comes, you spend it. So be careful. Be careful not to spend more than you make, though, because there is also a tendency that you will also spend a lot of money. Okay. From the 13th of March until the 30th of March, Mars in Gemini in your second house of money is going to be trining Saturn in Aquarius in your 10th house of career. This aspect is exact on the 22nd of March. It looks like you are receiving a lot of public acknowledgement because of the 10th house is also the house of public acknowledgement, public reputation, and professional path. You will be receiving acknowledgement from bosses and from people of authority with regards to your talents and skills and how valuable you are to the team. You will be receiving applause and recognition for a great job that you are doing, and it looks like the effort you are putting is very, very much appreciated and also very likely nicely compensated. Okay, if you are not receiving a raise this month, but it looks like you are setting the scene, at least it looks like from astrological point, you are setting the scene for a raise, perhaps around May or June, or it could be a bonus, something like that. But from work, you will receive some money, some kind of compensation. At least some of you, anyway. On the 30th of March, we have a new moon in Pisces happening in your 11th house of long-term plans, goals, dreams, and friends. And this is conjunct Venus, your ruling planet. And it's also conjunct Neptune. And it is sextiling Pluto in Capricorn in your 9th house of spirituality, long-distance travel, and higher mind, higher education. This is a beautiful new beginning for you, Taurians. You might be making plans for the future with friends. Also, probably most of you or some of you are planning for long distance trips. Perhaps just planning for now, because as we know, it's COVID. Long distance trips is very difficult. Where was I? And you are also likely, some of you are also likely to have an epiphany to do of what to do next with your life, because in the past 3 years, Taurus, your belief system was shattered and it was rebuilt, and now it is all of a sudden something seems to make sense. It's like something click into its place all of a sudden, the last piece of the puzzle. Okay, as if you were lost and now you're found, and now you know where you are heading. It is very likely that you are going to catch up with friends, even friends from very, very far away from you, and you are also likely to receive a very good news when it comes to long distance travel. So maybe finally you can travel, at least some of you who have plans. From the 15th of March, Mercury also joins Pisces in the party, and it enters your 11th house of friends and long-term plans. From the 20th of March, the energy is shifting a little bit from the 11th into your 12th house of rest, of solitude, and then spending time with yourself. The first 3 weeks of the month is very socially active, so on the 20th of March, you will be feeling, I need rest. And then you will be more, you want to be just by yourself. On the 21st of March, Venus enters Aries in your 12th house until the 14th of April. This is the time to take off, rest, as I said before, take it easy and step back from day-to-day activities. It is also a fantastic time for introspection, examining and observation your own mental and emotional processes. It is also a good time to look back at the things or happening on things or happenings that might have ended in the last 6 months of your life, so you can start a fresh new chapter in April, towards the end of April. This is a good time to take care of yourself, your body, give yourself time to take off from work, because Venus also rules your 6th house of day-to-day work. On the 28th of March, give and take 3 days before, 3 days after, we have the full moon in Libra in your 6th house of health and day-to-day work. The full moon in Libra is creating a grand trine with Saturn on the 10th house of work and Mars in Gemini in your 2nd house of income, bringing it a lot of good news, good vibes, good information. You might be finalizing projects probably started roughly 6 months ago, and it looks like some of you are setting the home for even setting a tone for even more race or a conversation with someone in power of authority. And if you are looking for a job, Taurians, you are most likely to get it around the 28th of March. I can see you breathing a sigh of relief after 6 months, stressful months. The only thing that might dim your party a little bit is that when the time of the full moon, someone may be leaving. Yeah, when I say someone leaving, maybe I can't express it really literally because I might get a private message again. Why didn't you say so? But it's tough. Okay, maybe someone is leaving, or maybe you will be feeling a little bit sad about finalizing a project that maybe you'll be hearing the structure of your team is changing. It could be rearranging work because it seems like there's a change in your work as well. So it could be from one team you will be put to another team, but or you change the positions, but you will be feeling sad as well. In any yeah. So it might interfere a little with your solid ground that you thought you were work-wise. So if you but there is a good chance that if you for some of you who will lose your job, there is another job waiting for you. You won't wait long. 28th of March is definitely a good time to look for a new job if you're not happy with your job. Okay, that's it for you. Okay, the best days in March on the 16th of March, and Saturn is sextiling Pluto. 18th of March, when Venus is sextiling Pluto on the 22nd of March, and when Mars is trining Saturn. for your productive efforts. That's when you get rewarded. And the 31st of March, when Saturn is sextiling Pluto. So remember those days? 16th, 18th, 22nd, and 31st of March. Those are good days and best days in March. The challenging days, fortunately, is only 24th of March, when Mercury is squaring Mars. Well, as I warned people, around this time, there could be some verbal aggression, or so avoid arguments at this time. The arguments can lead to, you know what I mean. So 24th of March. That's it for your Taurus. And now on to Gemini. There is a lot of Piscean energy in your for you Geminis, and it translates to career and a professional life related matters. From the 1st until the 4th of March, Venus in Pisces in your 10th house of career is going to be sextiling Uranus in your 12th house of things that happen behind the scenes, and this is exact on the 3rd of March. It looks like you are receiving some behind the scenes support in your career. Maybe someone very powerful, but not necessarily coming forward and saying, I got your back. There is also a possibility that around this time, some of you might be developing something career-wise behind the scenes. Some making some moves, maybe talking to some important people or bosses and people in position of leadership. Maybe negotiating, and if you are negotiating, by the way, it looks the negotiations will probably successful, because Venus, the benefic planet of all, is there to assist you. On the 4th of March, Mars enters Gemini in your 1st house until the 23rd of April. This is a nice change of pace for you, as you were kind of sleepless in the last 2 months. Some of you will be feeling more energized and feeling more ready to take the action, to get involved, to take new things. Mars energizes whatever it touches. So you are all go, go, go. Having said that, be careful not to get too impatient with other people. From the 13th of March until the 30th, Mars in Gemini in your 1st house is going to be trining Saturn in Aquarius, your 9th house of higher mind, higher education, and long distance travel. This aspect is exact on the 22nd of March. Some of you might it looks like a very productive in getting things done and out of the way, working hard. And when it comes to exams, some of you or a higher education, working with people in international environment. Also, it looks like you will be if you work in advertising or marketing, promoting, higher education, or if you are a blogger, this is a chance. The chances are you will get things done easy, and you will attract more audiences, and or potential clients. You are given the energy to manifest all your dreams around the sector. On the 13th of March, the new moon in Pisces in your 10th house of career, conjunct Venus, the planet of love, and the moon sextiling Pluto in your Capricorn in your 8th house of shared resources and other people's money. This is a nice time to receive a bonus from your career. It is also a good time to look to the future career-wise. This is a fantastic time for manifesting the career path or an ideal job. You will be, some of you will find a job exactly what you are looking for. The work that you love doing. Um, for some of you, it is almost as you are given opportunity to do the job to combine with pleasure of doing what you love at the same time. From the 15th of March, Mercury enters Pisces in your house of career, essentially adding to the Piscean party. Some of you might hear a new news after until the end of the month related to the new professional path that you are embarking upon, or this new position that you are eyeing for just taken. From the 17th until the 19th, you are also 19th, Venus conjunct the Sun and are going to be in Pisces in your house of career, and there is sextiling Pluto in your 8th house of shared resources. This is a very good for Geminis with a Taurian partner. Yay! It's good for me because my husband is Gemini and I'm a Taurian. So yeah, because I will be making money, supposed to be. Anyway, on with on with astrology. From the 12th of March onwards, the Sun moves into Aries at the spring equinox. Oh, it's almost spring, ladies and gentlemen. On your 11th house of long plan terms, long-term plans, the other way around, for the future, and and it's also a very social house or getting together with groups of people. The focus after the 20th of March will shift from a house of career to your house of friends and collaboration and efforts. On the 21st of March until the 14th of April, Venus is going to be transiting to your 11th house, and this is likely to push your social life to a notch. You might feel much more eager to catch up with people, with friends, to exchange ideas, to communicate, to get back together, contact people you haven't seen in a while, and some of you will be some of you will be feeling very positive and optimistic about the future and about your future plans and goals. On the 28th of March, we have the full moon, give and take 3 days before, 3 days after, in Libra, in your 5th house of love. There is a grand trine in air signs, Geminis, between the moon in your 5th house, Saturn in the 9th house, and Mars in Gemini in your 1st house of identity. So you seem to be announcing to the world or to the society or to the masses a super important news related to your love life or creative project, whichever one that suits you. You could be launching a project or a creative marketing campaign. If you are launching a marketing campaign, it will be very, very successful. And you literally going to hit the nail in the head. It's also a fabulous time for romance. Oh, love that. It's a fabulous time to have fun, and you might be finally feeling eager to see how the future unfolds. You will be feeling very privileged and very lucky this month. The best days, 16th of March 18th of March, and the 31st of March. The challenging days. Oh, only one challenging day. 24th of March, when Mercury is squaring Mars, it can result to verbal aggression, so avoid arguments at this time and be very, very careful not to get yourself hurt in an accident, because there's also a possibility. So don't get Mars, don't forget that Mars is in your first house. Okay? So this is for you, Gemini, and now on to Cancer. Cancerians, you will absolutely love the first 3 weeks of March, 3 weeks of March, because the Piscean energy is going to make you feel dreamy, in the mood for romance, for big plans. From the 1st until the 4th of March, blah, blah, blah. We have Venus in Pisces in your 9th house of spirituality. Why is it so difficult for me? Higher education and long-distance travel, sextiling Uranus in Taurus in your 11th house. You will be catching up with friends. You are going to make plans for the future with friends. Friends will be surprising you in a nice way, or you'll be feeling very, very positive, optimistic about traveling, with prospect of catching up with friends. Very likely in person. Well, not in social media. So some of you will say, yeah, how can I travel? It's going to be difficult, but there is a light in the horizon. So don't worry. Some of you will also be having a revelation on a spiritual and mental level, because Venus in your 9th house is just clicking, like seeing the big picture. From the 4th of March, it's like rest. From doing very exciting things, relax mode. From doing very exciting things to relax mode, taking a break. From the 4th of March until the 23rd of April, Mars is going in Gemini, going to Gemini in your 12th house, and you will be very likely to put your career efforts a little bit on the back burner, kind of slowing down a bit, or taking a break from your work that might not be as focused, because you are not as focused as you have been, because of you have other things to think about. You are planning trips, you are talking to friends, getting social. You are looking towards the future. It's like work and wait attitude. Some of you might also have a super active dream life on the 4th of March until the 23rd of April. If you are suffering from a lack of sleep or insomnia, well, let's just say you might not be in the mood for sleeping. This is a period when you will dream a lot, at least to some of you. Anyway, if you dream a lot, I also recommend to write down your dream once you wake up, so you can remember it. Because your dreams, it can mean something, or something, it can help you, or even answer your question for you without knowing it. If you don't know how to interpret your dreams, just write down your comments below, and I will interpret them and for you, provided that the dream is clear and described in full. Okay? You will be also, by the way, for some of you, you will be also inspired to work on yourself and your social and spiritual development between the 4th of March until the 23rd of April. From the 13th until the 30th of March, Mars in Gemini in your 12th house of shadow, past life, and also what's happening behind the scenes, is trining Saturn in Aquarius in your 8th house of shared resources, investments, psychological crisis, and transformation. Around this period, you might be working something on your career-wise, behind the scenes, or looking or cooking something up, or thinking about it at least. You might be thinking of how to use other people's talent, resources, energy, and time in order to take your career to the next level. You might also leave the spotlight career-wise to someone else for a while because it seems to have a soul searching to do. And so some of you will be in the process of healing from an overdrive career-wise, something like a burnout. On the 13th of March, we have a new moon in Pisces in your 9th house. The new moon is conjunct Venus and Neptune, and it is sextiling Pluto in Capricorn in your 7th house. It looks like you will, for some of you, will be receiving news around the 13th, give and take 3 days before, 3 days after, related to exams, for students of course, higher education, or a positive, and for some, it's a positive news about marketing and something like that. For some of you also might feel that the relationship, oh God, some of you might also feel that the relationship with your partner is strengthened if you are married or in a relationship, because you are aligned in terms of mentality and belief systems. If you are waiting for news related to travel, you will hear very positive news. You might be not sleeping as much though, but other than that, you will receive a ton of good news. From the 15th of March, Mercury enters Pisces in your 9th house. Your mind will be on fire. You will be inspired to learn, to share information, and you might decide to some of you might decide to take a course, or you might decide to start giving classes and share your wisdom with the world. From the 20th of March onwards, your focus goes back to your career. The Sun enters Aries on the 10th house of career, and you might have taken a step back, but around this period, you will be in the spotlight once again. From the 21st of March, Venus is going to through Aries in your 10th house of career, until the 14th of April. This is a very good time for a new career move or career-related journey to put your dreams into practice, to take tangible steps in a direction of fulfilling a career-related dream. On the 28th of March, we have a full moon in Libra on your 4th house of home and family and roots and the past. There is a grand trine in air signs happening at the time of the full moon, between the full moon on the 4th house of your home and family, Saturn in Aquarius on the 8th house of shared resources, and Mars in Gemini on your 12th house of spiritual development and the shadow. Some of you might finish a home-related project. Some of you might get a big gift or a financial gift from family member. It could be an inheritance or just a substantial gift. or your partner might also have a lump sum of money that might and can be used for renovating a house or buying a furniture or something to do with home and family related projects. Some of you might receive news about a new member of the family joining in. So perhaps a newborn, or perhaps someone getting married or getting engaged. So it looks like a time for overcoming a crisis through family matter. Overcoming a tough time, family matter. And the crisis is over. I also see good financial outlook for you. The best days in March is on the 16th, the 18th, 22nd, on the 31st, and the 31st of March. The challenging days is on the 24th of March when Mercury is squaring Mars. You might be frustrated with an authority figure on this day. So if you are going to talk to someone with the power of authority or a boss, avoid it on the 24th of March. Pick any days, or at least the days that I mentioned, 16th, 18th, 22nd, and 31st. Those are good ones. Okay, that's it for you, Cancer. And now, here comes Leo. You are going to enjoy this month like no one's business because Mars is no longer squaring you, finally. If in the first 4 days of the month, Venus in Pisces in your 8th house is sextiling Uranus in your 10th house of public reputation, career. This aspect is exact on the 3rd of March. It seems that some of you will be receiving either a bonus from work or maybe a significant return on investment. So for some of you, it could be from work you have been doing a while back. You might also be receiving some news from a boss or someone in a position of authority that will put your mind at rest. Essentially, you will be feeling confident that you can move forward with your work-related and career-related plans because you have been having a bit of a tough time in the last, at least the first 2 months of the year. Now is slowly but surely you can see a way out, and actually you will be feeling very positive about the future, work-wise. From the 4th of March onwards, Mars moves into Gemini to your 11th house of long terms plus until the 23rd of March. From the 4th of March until the 23rd of March, Mars is going to energize your house of long-term plans. You are going to be feeling ready to take on the world, ready to put some effort in and to really exert yourself in the direction of making your dreams and long-term plans into a reality. You might be also, some of you might also be gathering people together, like bringing together a group of people to work together or to work on a project that impact a larger group of people, not just your own personal individual life. You might also be catching up with friends and that you haven't seen in a long time, and you will be initiating that catch up. From the 13th of until the 30th of March, Mars in your 11th house is going to be trining Saturn in Aquarius on your 7th house of partnership and committed relationships, contractual relationships in a way, like partner can be a romantic partner or a business partner or a spouse. So, but this one is for contractual relationships. So, in general, it looks like you are making plans, be it a romantic partner or a business partner for the future, and some of you are making dreams a reality. You dream as a couple of your dreams this month. Sorry, I'm mixing things up. This month, whatever you are doing business, whatever you are doing in business, especially if you're running your own thing, you need help from someone else, and you are very likely to get it as if you ask for it. Can't do it alone. Okay, on the 13th of March, you have the new moon in Pisces in your 8th house, conjunct Venus, sextiling Pluto in Capricorn in your 6th house of day-to-day and work and health. Firstly, you seem to be getting over a health-related issue, probably mental health. So you might be feeling less stress, less anxious. Some of you, so it's like a crisis is over. Secondly, you might be also overcoming a literal work-related crisis. Maybe you found some help. Maybe you found finally get funds that you needed, that you're lacking. Maybe found some emotional support if you are lacking that. And it looks like for some of you there is someone is there to help and support you. From the 15th of March onwards, Mercury enters Pisces in your 8th house, joining Piscean party. Between the 13th and the 19th of March, you might get some external funding, external investment to put towards your work, and maybe your loan from a bank will be approved at this time. Maybe for some of you, you are bringing in a partner who has a significant amount of cash to contribute to your work-related project. The project you will embark on will be realized only with the support of a spouse, whether it be your partner, unless you come up with funding from some other source, like a loan or inheritance. From the 20th of March onwards, we have a shift in energy. The sun is gonna be entering the 9th house in Aries, and there will be a big emphasis on the 9th house matter until the end of the month. Until the end of the month. From the 21st of March, Venus is also entering Aries in your 9th house until the 14th of April. This is a fantastic time for a long distance travel. I have the feeling that by the end of March, the travel restrictions will be lifted up because of the positions of the planets. I might be wrong, but for a lot of people, the travel plans are in the picture. So anyway, if you're not traveling, at least you're making plans about traveling long distance. If you are a student and you have an exam to take or a foreign affairs issue like applying for a passport or applying for a visa, you're most likely going to get it between the 21st of March and the 14th of April. On the 28th of March, full moon in Libra is triggering your 3rd house and your 9th house, the axis of learning and communication in society. So the grand trine in air signs between the moon in the 3rd house, Saturn in your 7th house of partnership, and Mars in Gemini, your 11th house. For some of you, it looks like during the full moon, you might get some very good news related to partnership. It could be a business partnership, a romantic partnership, most likely romantic because Venus is involved. You might also be receiving some news and positive result if you are taking an exam or completing a course. Because it seems to be contributing to your long-term plans, because Mars is triggered in your 11th house of the future. Anyway, the best days in March: 16th of March, 18th, 22nd, and 31st. And the challenging days are, challenging day is the 24th of March, when Mercury is squaring Mars. It can result to verbal aggressions. So I recommend to avoid arguments around this time. So that is it for you. And now for Virgo. Let me write down. One moment, please. Virgo. Rainbows and sunshine is waiting for you, Virgo, for the next 4 days of the month. Venus is going to be in Pisces in your 7th house of partnership. Romantic and business partnership, sextiling Uranus in Taurus in your 9th house. Higher mind, long distance travel, higher education, and belief system. This is a very romantic time for people who are in a relationship. For those who are single and not in a relationship, you might be very much in the mood to flirt and find a partner. There is also a possibility that you might meet someone very suddenly and will be romantically involved, because Venus is involved, and throw in some romantic surprise out of the blue. You might also be travel impromptu style, partner or spouse, with a partner or spouse at this time. Just like, let's go, pack our things and go. Something like that. On the 4th of March, Mars enters Gemini on the 10th house of career until the 23rd of April. You're going to be on fire career-wise for roughly 6 weeks. You're going to get the job done. Some of you are going to be active, very, very active career-wise, and very much in the limelight, initiating projects. Don't get annoyed with people, especially with the bosses or people in position of leadership, being more impatient than the usual. That can be a theme, because that can be a theme with Mars in the 10th house. From the 13th until the 30th of March, Mars in Gemini in your house of career is trining Saturn in Aquarius and in your 6th house of day-to-day work. This is exact on the 22nd of March. This is an indication that hard work will be done, and also that gets started on a project that are going to last a long time, that require a great amount of energy, but also that makes you feel very driven and very motivated. For some of you, it looks like you are getting some very intense and tough project off the ground work-wise between this time frame. For some of you also, you might be making some positive strides in the direction of your health, maybe committing to something new, kind of new habit that health-wise, is going to have a long-term positive impact on your health. You seem to be very driven and very motivated around this time. On the 13th of the March, the new moon in Pisces in your 7th house of marriage and partnership is conjunct Venus and Neptune, and is sextiling Pluto in Capricorn in your 5th house. This is romance. This is romance prime time. You might, some of you might start a new relationship if you are single, and if you are in a partnership, you might be committing to a partner and taking things to a next level. If you are, or be it in a game, it could be an engagement or moving in together, because this energy of strengthening the bond, and it is recommended that you spend time with your partner, and that you make time or room in your diary for a romantic type energy. Romantic type of energy. It is also possible that some of you might be kicking off a creative project with a business partner, something that you are very excited about because you actually care about it and you really enjoy the work that you might be doing. From the 15th of March, Mercury is entering Pisces in your 7th house. You will be literally thinking about your partner tremendously, and about other people, how you come across until the end of the month. Good collaboration on how to be a good partner will come to mind. And from the 20th of March onwards, the Sun enters Aries in your 8th house of shared resources, intimacy, and psychological transformation. And from the 21st of March, Venus will move into the same part of your chart until the 14th of April. So between the 21st and the 14th of April, this is actually a very good time to get intimate with your partner. It is also a good time to invest some money and get a significant amount of return on an investment between the 21st of March until the 14th of April. If you are in a partnership, you might actually see your partner or your spouse increasing their income. So you might also be getting a higher level of compensation and understanding to one of your personal and psychological blockages. I have problem with talking right now. I don't know. I always have. Okay, on the 28th of March, give and take 3 days before, 3 days after, the full moon in Libra is triggering your 2nd house of money and your 8th house, so the financial axis. The Grand Trine in air signs at the time of the full moon is the most benefic, the luckiest opportunity filled aspect pattern in astrology. The thing with opportunity is they easily missed. So don't miss. You know, when opportunity, they say, opportunity knocks only once. So don't miss this one. The moon is going to be in your 2nd house of income. Saturn is going to be in the 6th house of day-to-day work. And Mars is going to be in Gemini on the 10th house of career. This is a time to ask for a raise. If you haven't got it, you might get a significant return on investment. You might see a bump in your income as a result of something that you have been invested in. Or for some of you, it might also be receiving some public recognition or acknowledgement from your boss or someone in a position of leadership or authority. For some of you, it might be even a promotion or a position that gives you additional responsibility, but also that comes with more money attached to it, and you will be feeling very proud of yourself, appreciated that you deserve it, and you really work hard for it, and you have proven yourself in a way, and now you are being compensated for it. Good one. The best days in March, 16th of March, 18th of March, 22nd of March, and the 31st of March. So if you're planning anything, plan on those days. The challenging days is the 24th of March, when Mercury is squaring Mars. You might be getting annoyed or impatient and frustrated around this day. So if you are waiting for audition from a boss or a manager or someone in position of authority, be patient. Okay, so that's it for you, Virgo. And now into Libra. God, I'm getting tired. The first 3 weeks of the month are going to be very, 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 very busy for you. And the latter part of the month is going to be exciting because you're going to have time to focus on a relationship, which is something that you are naturally do so well. In the first 4 days of the month, Venus is going to be in Pisces in your 6th house of day-to-day work and health. Also, pets. It's also concerned pets. 6th house is also pets. Sextiling Uranus in Taurus in your 8th house and shared resources. This aspect is exact on the 3rd of March. It can feel that you, for some of you, you might be feeling that you are reaching an agreement with a colleague or co-worker, that you might have had some challenges with lately. And for some of you, you may also feel that you are overcoming a work-related crisis, and it's giving you a hell of a lot of peace of mind. For some of you, you will be receiving some reassurance in the first 4 days of the month related to your health. Maybe or maybe you are a little bit worried of something health related. If you but I suggest you see a doctor if you are feeling something. You seem to be seeing a positive results though, relating to your general state of health, especially if you have been making changes in the past months in February to your day-to-day work habits and behaviors. On the 4th of March until the 23rd of April, Mars is entering Gemini on your 9th house. This is exciting because the energy of Gemini is blend so well with yours. It's going to make you feel super excited about sharing ideas, about being out in the public again, possibility of traveling. And for some of you, it's going to be going to give you a lot of mental energy to put to good work. It could also be that you are putting work in a promotional type project, in a story type project, publishing, or a foreign affairs project, or perhaps putting your stamps on solving a problem related to legal documents. And it feels like you're getting somewhere anyway. It looks like your efforts are hitting the right spot, essentially. Okay, on the 13th of and till the 30th of March, Mars in Gemini in your 9th house is going to be trining Saturn in Aquarius on your 5th house of love and romance and passion. This is exact on the 22nd of March. This is a very passionate aspect for you. You seem to be connecting with a romantic partner on a mental level, like no one's business. Your mind is stimulated by a romantic partner, or it can be a creative project. You might also be you might also hear a very, very good news when it comes to travel plans with a romantic partner. On the 22nd of March, in particular, If you can make time for loved ones, and if you can make time for creative projects or anything that brings you joy and anything that makes you feel alive, and at the moment it will probably work better than you thought it would. So that save the time on the 22nd of March. On the 13th of March, the new moon in Pisces is happening in Pisces on your 6th house. And it's a beautiful new moon because it's conjunct Venus ruling the planet, ruling your planet, and it's sextiling Pluto in Capricorn in your 4th house of family and the house. Some of you will be hearing news about a new job. Some will be hearing a positive news about work endeavors. Some of you might be continuing the positive health streak that I mentioned at the beginning of the month. And maybe hearing something like a significant changing in the body in a good way. Some of you might also be hearing a positive news from work-related something that you are doing in your home place, like a proposal or a flexible workplace and a time and it seems that it's going to be approved. It could also be some related project that that could last for 6 months. But if you are not, but you are not bothered by it, but actually very excited. For some of you, it could mean that you might find a work closer to home. Excuse me. From the 15th of March until the end of the month, Mercury is also joining the Piscean party on the 6th house of day-to-day work, so you might. So your mind will be focused on work and day-to-day basis work-wise. From the 20th of March, the Sun moves into Aries in your 7th house of partnership and committed relationship. This is what I was referring to when I mentioned in the later part of the month. From the 20th onwards, you will be your focus will shift from work to your relationship. I mentioned that earlier. From the 21st of March until the 14th of April, Venus is going to be transiting to your house of romantic partnership and communicated relationship, and also business relationships. You might be feeling much loved by a partner, more than normal at this time. And if you are single, then you are feeling a lot more attractive around this time as well. So for some of you might also feel that you want to spend more time with your partner or to get to know them better, because Venus is you, and the 7th house is the partner that you will feel more inquisitive about your partner. I don't know what I'm doing now. Okay, some of you will be much keener and more understanding to the other person at this time. On the 28th of March, give and take 3 days before, 3 days after, the full moon in Libra is triggering your 1st house of identity and also your house of long-term partnership. The Grand Trine in air signs. The Grand Trine is on air signs on the day of the full moon. The moon is in your 1st house of identity. Saturn is going to be in your 5th house of passion and love, and Mars is going to be in Gemini in your 9th house of long distance travel. You might, some of you might redefine your identity, your place in the world due to relationship that you get into. Some of you might share news with the world with regards to a partner or with a partnership that you are in. For some, you might be officialize the relationship. The ninth house that you have Mars is also the house of legal matters. So could possibly be marriage. Some of you might officialize the relationship on the night, and there could be some paperwork involved, and there could also be some big splashing news that you might splash into social media declaring that you are in a relationship with someone. So it looks like there will be a change on how how the world sees you as a result of what's happening in your relationship sector. So the best days in March, the 16th, the 18th, and the 22nd, and also the 31st of March. There are good days. And the challenging day is the 24th of March when Mercury is squaring Mars. Avoid any disagreement on or argument on the 24th of March. It will turn into disaster. So that's it for you, Libra. And now on to Scorpio. Okay, you're gonna love the first 3 weeks, Scorpio. Let me just adjust this thing. Okay, you're gonna love the first 3 weeks of the month because Piscean energy is a water energy and actually trining your Scorpionic energy. So you're going to be feeling like things are working in your favor. Some of you are feeling understood and you feel like life gets easier. In the first 4 days of the month, Venus in Pisces in your house of love and romance is sextiling Uranus in Taurus in your 7th house of partnership. This is exact on the 3rd of March. You will get romantic. Some of you will get romantically. Some of you will be feeling very loved by a romantic partner. If you are single, you might meet someone. You might meet a romantic partner, or might get romantically involved with someone. Some of you might be hearing news of something unexpected, something very surprising from a romantic partner. Some of you normally don't like surprises because you want to be in control. But I say give this whoever is surprising you a chance. You might also feel like you're making some sort of positive stride in one of a contractual relationship, to be it romantic relationship or be it relationship between business or romantic relationship between this time. On the 4th of March until the 23rd of April, Mars is gonna move through Gemini on your 8th house. Your sex life is about to ramp with a great intensity, and that is because Mars is the only transiting in our chart once every 2 years. It's going to be very exciting, and it will literally get your adrenaline up. It is also a fantastic time for investment, a far cry from sex and intimacy, but it is also good. I welcome money all the time, by the way. It is also a good time for work and mental health related issues, to work on your fears. It is a great time for therapy, and from the 13th until the 30th of March, Mars in Gemini on your 8th house is going to be trining Saturn in Aquarius. In your 4th house of home and family. This is a very healing energy. Some of you will be taking action to heal the wounds from the childhood, to heal the emotional trauma. To heal the emotional trauma from your childhood. For some of you, it could also be that you are pooling resources with a partner and putting them into a home-related project. For some of you, it may also be called to forgive a family member that you might have been on not so friendly term with around this time. You will be feeling excited to face your demons, realizing that you have got to do this to work. And you are going ahead with it because you know it's going to help you in the long term from an emotional, mental level. On the 13th of March, the new moon is happening in Pisces in your 5th house of love, creative projects, and children. It conjuncts Venus and Neptune sextiling Capricorn in your 3rd house. This may be the time when you are selling creative projects, and for some of you, you might find a way to monetize your creative project. You might be also hearing a very good news related to your love life, and also be embarking on a course of learning that you are passionate about. This is also a time that you will receive good feedback about your creative project. Good news also from your children. You will also hear good news from your children, and they most likely related to education. So most likely they pass or on another level, but good news from your children. From the 15th of March, Mercury enters Pisces in your house, in your 5th house. So you're gonna be thinking about a lot about your children. Thinking about creativity and fun. On the 20th of March until the end of the month, the focus will shift to your house of day-to-day work and also the house of mental health, because Sun is moving in this part of your chart. From the 21st of March, Venus is entering in the same part of your chart on your 6th house in Aries until the 14th of April. This is a very good time to spend time following your daily habits and routines, your schedule, and also fantastic time for collaboration with others. You might be feeling you are getting along better than you normally do with co-workers at this time. On the 28th of March, give and take 3 days before, 3 days after, the full moon is triggering your 6th house, 12th house axis, the axis of service. The Grand Trine in air signs brings new information, new opportunity, messages, new ideas. And the Grand Trine is going to be between the moon in your 12th house, Saturn in Aquarius in your 4th house, and Mars in Gemini in your 8th house. It looks like some of the work you have been doing, or maybe heal a relationship, with a family member, or to heal an emotional wounds related to family matters. For some of you, it looks like you're going to be so for some of you, you're going to manage all this pretty well, and it looked like you're getting a point where you are ready to forgive and release the pain. It is also the time of acknowledgement of your efforts concerning psychological and mental transformation. It also appears that for some of you, you are waiting for a news concerning a lump sum of money, or a gift, or an inheritance, or money related to the sale of real estate transaction. You probably hear the news about it around the 28th. You might also be completing a work-related chapter or health-related chapter very successfully around on the 28th. Give and take 3 days before, 3 days after. Okay, the best days in March, the 16th, the 18th, the 22nd, and the 31st of March. And the challenging day is the 24th of March. Maybe there will be a romantic issue, a verbal aggression with a romantic partner or business partner around this time. So I suggest to keep your cool. If you're angry, just stay quiet. Okay, so that is it for you, Scorpio. And now for Sagittarius. Your focus this month is more family and home related matters, especially the first 3 weeks of the month. From the 1st of April until March, from the 1st of March until the 4th, you're going to be having Venus in Pisces in your 4th house of home and family and private life. In a beautiful sextile aspect to Uranus in Taurus in your 6th house of day-to-day work. So this is exact on the 3rd of March. For some of you, it looks like you're putting some effort into home-related sector, and most likely very pleased on how the things are turning out. For some of you, it is also like you're maybe receiving some positive news from family members related to health, mental health in particular. And there is also a possibility of hearing a very pleasant news related to working from home, which is ongoing nowadays actually. Related to some home, some of the Air Force, or news relating to some efforts that you put into your living situation and your residence. Some of you seem to be getting along with the family members a lot better on the 4th of March, and some of you will be some of you will be getting along with family members a lot better at this time. On the 4th of March until the 23rd of April, Mars is leaving Taurus in your 6th house of health and day-to-day work, and actually in the past 2 months you might have dealt with some challenges related to co-workers not necessarily understanding where you are coming from, or not necessarily understanding your directions. Why do you want to do things you want to do? Something like that. But it must have been not the easiest first 2 months for you. At least for the beginning of the year, when it comes to cooperation and collaboration. It is also possible that you might have had some inflammation. For some of you might have a possible inflammation in the body somewhere, and that you were taking steps to do something about it. To take care of your body for the first 2 months of the year. But from the 4th until the 4th of March until the 23rd of April, It looks like you're going to put a great deal of effort into building your one committed relationship. Yeah, one-on-one committed relationship. Mars, I'm getting tired, sorry. Mars energizes anything it touches, but it also speeds up things. Okay, so it could bring a heavier dose of passion. Passion. Um, uh, for some of you, also it could bring a heavy dose of impulsive actions. So until the 23rd of April, you might be dealing with a partner, if you are not in partnership, both business and romantic, who seems to be angry at you for get angry at you quite easier, that you could be on the darker side of Mars in your 7th house. The more enjoyable aspect of Mars transiting to this part of your chart is very likely to be much more passion and much more chemistry with a partner. So it's like you can get enough of each other, and physically, but at the same time, conflict is very, very high. So you have to choose your battles. From the 13th of March until the 30th of March, Gemini in your 7th house of partnership is going to be in a beautiful aspect to Saturn. The aspect is exact on the 22nd of March. It looks like that for some of you, you are collaborating much better with a partner, be it romantic, be it business partner, when it comes to financial matter, or maybe collaborating with towards winning some sort of a business deal with a partner when it comes to financial matter, or making additional income for yourselves, or as a couple, or as a business partner. You might be also building upon a relationship using very honest communication, very authentic, straightforward communication. There is also a possibility that for some of you will be on the road quite a bit between the 13th and the 30th of March. There will be quite a lot of short distance travels, short trips. And on the 13th of March, the new moon is happening in Pisces. And family matter. So give and take. 3 days before, 3 days after, you might be moving into a new home. Or for some of you, might be kicking off a new home-related project, like that requires significant amount of money and expenditures of energy, not only money, and resources, and on your part, but seem to have the money that you need to spend on a home-related matter. Some of you might be thinking of buying a new home, and or starting the process of buying or selling a home. It seems that you are might have been working for quite some time, and it is going to be finally in the direction that you want. There is also some very good news coming from the family members. In general, the relationship with your family is reaching a new level of understanding, a new level of bonding. So it's a very, very dreamy moon. Okay, between the 17th and 19th of March, Venus is in conjunct with Sun in Pisces on your fourth house, and it continues to sextile Pluto on your second house of money and income. You might be inclined to purchase gifts for family members, or you might be inclined to make a big splashy purchase for the home. There's a little bit of treat yourself energy here. And for some of you, you seem to have earned it. Financially and mentally, you will be looking forward to reward yourself or a family member. Like and take a step into a significant sum of money. Sorry, wow, what is this happening? Okay, so some of you, for some of you, you are who was looking forward for a reward. Sorry, what the fuck? Oh, sorry, pardon me. For some of you who's waiting for money, something like a big sum of money will come out of the blue. I don't know where it's coming from. Hang on a minute. Let me oh yeah, it's from your own hard work. Sorry, it's not lotto. It's from your own hard work, but it's gonna be a lot of money. From the 20th of March until the end of the month, the focus shifts to your fifth house of fun and children, creativity and romance. The Sun is entering Aries on the fifth house on the 20th of March, and onto the 21st, Venus is entering the same part of your chart until the 14th of April. With Venus on the fifth house, it looks like you will be having much fun with a romantic partner. And from the 21st of March until the 4th of April, for those of you who are single, it looks like you will have much fun too, because it is a very flirtatious period, and will have to enjoy yourself. It's fun and entertainment with friends for the singles around this period. And for some of you, you are very likely to meet someone and get romantically involved, because Venus is facilitating this. Okay. On the 28th of March, the full moon in Libra is on your 11th house of friends and groups of people. It's also on your long-term plans. There is a grand trine in air signs during the full moon, and between the moon on 11th house of friends, Saturn in Aquarius in your 3rd house, and Mars in Gemini in your 7th house. I could see a massive get-together. For some of you, a massive get-together or a party with your friend or group of friends. I have the feeling that the lockdown will be lifted around this time. So keep your fingers crossed, because it's each sign is mentioning about meeting with friends and travels. So yeah, this is most likely the beginning of end of the lockdown. COVID will still be there. It's not gonna go away, but there will be a remedy for it. So yeah, keep our fingers crossed. The project, where was I? A massive get together, yeah. And a friend of group of friends is in the picture at this time, and you might also be feeling very inspired to come up with a project for work for a long run with a group of people, or it could be a collaborative effort. This project, for some of you, this project could be related to communication, or it could be an exam, taking an exams, or working on a project that involves writing. So yeah, blogging, sharing ideas, information technology, or making really yeah, anything that has got to do with communication, writing, writing or speaking, sharing ideas, information, blogging, or marketing, will be it will turn out fabulous. So if you are into that kind of business, it's going to be good for you, Sagittarius. Okay, the best days of the month is the 16th, the 18th, the 22nd, and the 31st of March. The challenging day is the 24th of March. This could, yeah, it's something. Be careful what you say around this time, because small argument can to into verbal aggression could turn into, you know, a fight. So if you can just walk away, walk away. So that's it for you, Sagittarius. And now Capricorn. Oh, I'm almost there. Capricorn, you are going to be to have it a lot easier this month. On the first 4 days of the month, this is a very dreamy period because it's going to be Pisces in your third house of communication, siblings, writing, and sextiling Uranus in Taurus on your fifth house of passions and creative project. The first 4 days of the month is very Venusian in nature and very romantic, and there's a chance that some of you are connecting with potential romantic partner, or if you are in a romantic relationship already existing, you will be getting along much better at this time. If you are parents, if you are a parent, it is a fantastic news related to the education of your children. This is like lifting off the weight of your shoulders. From the 4th of March until the 23rd of March, sorry, 23rd of April, Mars is entering Gemini in your 6th house of work and health. And in the next 7 weeks, you will be called to put a great deal of energy and stamina and effort into updating your health status. You will be visiting the doctor, or it could be, for some of you, you will be visiting, sorry, pardon me. For some of you, you will be visiting the doctor, or it could be prompted like with an inflammation of the body, or maybe feeling, some of you may be feeling very energized and taking care of your health better. But from on the 4th of March until the 23rd, it is a very good time to kick out a very active health, to start a very active health regimen. So exercise, go for a run, be careful when you're using tools with exercising, because Mars is very prone to accidents, so be careful on how you move things around. Take it easy and take it slow, but exercise at this time will be good for your health. It could also be very productive time work-wise, even though you seem to be more impatient than usual, especially with co-workers. From the 13th until the 30th of March, you will House of Health and day-to-day work. It is it looks like some of you will have ability to work ability in your day-to-day work to put to use one of the talents that you might have been cultivating very long time. And all of a sudden it seems to be moving a lot easier with work, and you will realize that your talents that you have will be put to use, will come in handy. For some of you, you will be recognized or appreciated in your new skills and talents at work. From the on the 1st of month, on the 13th of March, the new moon in Pisces in your third house of siblings and communications is the new moon is going to be from the 13th on the 13th of March. The new moon is going to be in Pisces in your house of third house of siblings and communication. And this is conjunct Venus and Neptune, and it's sextiling Pluto in Capricorn in your first house. Give and take 3 days before and 3 days after. For some of you, it could be becoming a student. You could be becoming a student. You could go and study in any shape or form. And this seems to be changing the way you look at yourself, the way you present yourself to the world, and you seem to be keen on to develop yourself in a new direction, or at a very high chance, there's a very high chance that you may be called to learn something. So it's like if you are working, you will be asked to take a course to move forward to the next level, to the next position. So there will be like, how do you call that? Yeah, of course. I'm out of words. Okay, so you will be called to learn something, and it is easier to develop yourself in a direction that is either spiritual or something very imaginative. So if you have siblings, this is also very nicely aspected to get the news from your siblings, and actually news that may in some shape or form might affect your identity. So it could be maybe kind of having a baby or getting married, maybe your siblings. If you have a sibling, there is also nicely aspected, and actually that may in some shape or form affect your identity. It could be that maybe a sibling is a brother, sister getting married or having a baby or something like that. You will hear some news about it. Okay, between the 17th and the 19th of March, Venus in the same position of your third house is going to be sextiling Pluto in your first house. This is a fantastic time to buy or sell things. Something that is got to do with Venetian things such as art, luxury objects. And from if you want to sell things like art or paintings or something, luxury items like jewelries, stuff like that. This is a very good time. From the 20th of March onwards until the end of the month, the focus is shifting towards your home and family. So the Sun in Aries is part of your chart on the 20th, and it is in your from the 20th of March to 20, and on the 21st, Venus enters Aries on the same part of your chart. So Venus until the 14th of April, it is a very good time to visit family, go back to your roots, get together with family member, reconnect and bond with them, and share time and resources with them. It is also a very good time for purchasing and replacing something in the home and place that are aesthetically involved. So, yeah. On the 28th of March, the full moon in Libra in your 10th house is triggering your fourth house, home and family. The Grand Trine in air signs, the moon in your 10th house, and Saturn in Aquarius in your second house of money and income, and Mars in Gemini in your day-to-day work and health. There is a possibility that you might get a promotion at work around this time. There's a possibility that if you apply for a new job, you will be getting it, and there's also a possibility that you might receive a public recognition for the work that you have been putting in your day-to-day work and out of your career. There's also possibility around the time that you may be inform your bosses, um, uh, or people of authority, people that you work with, about something that is happening, that is going in your home sector, or the other way around, that you might have good news to announce to your family members, very good news related to work. There is a probability that you are stepping up the ladder, so promotion, in some shape or form. And for some of you, you may be launching a very important project, and around this time, and it seems to be very well received. You will love this full moon. Okay, so there you go. Capricorn, the best days. Oh, by the way, the best days. The basis in March is on the 16th, the 18th, the 22nd, and the 31st. And the challenging day is the 24th. So, because Mercury is squaring Mars. So maybe it's a romantic issue, something to do with verbal aggression with a romantic person. And so keep your cool. You don't want to mess around this on the 24th. Okay, so that is for you, Capricorn. And now on to Aquarius. Money talk is very important. It's very prominent in your chart this month. Money coming in and money going out. From the 1st of April until the 4th of March, Venus in Pisces in your second house of income and money. Values gonna be sextiling Uranus in Taurus in your 5th house of home and family. You're gonna be on a splurgy mode when it comes to family member. You know, like, I don't care, I spend what I spend. But yeah, you will be on a splurgy mode with it comes to family member, but when it comes to object, things that you can display in your home. So I see this nice figurine, I see this nice painting and stuff like that. So yeah, but you might, there is a tendency that you will splurge. It is not that you just go for it. It seems like for some of you, you're thinking of purchasing stuff that makes your home more homey, such as art of, for instance, yeah, as I mentioned. There's also a very high chance that if you are waiting for something related to home, like selling or some sort of, maybe you hear some very positive news. So in any case, you are selling your home or your house, then you will hear a very positive news in the very first 4 days of the month. Generally, March is a good new coming. Generally, March is good. Good news coming from family and home and real estate sector. So you could be buying or selling a house or buying or selling a land. So that's a very good news. Good time for you. You might even surprise a family member with a gift, surprise them with a visit, or sending them something nice. And you will be feeling so generous with the family at this time. From the 4th of April, sorry, why I keep saying April. From the 4th of March until the 23rd of April, Mars is going to be moving through Gemini in your 5th house of romance. This is going to be a full-blown adventure time. So, happy, happy, happy. With Mars activating this part of your chart, you might be actively taking the initiative to have fun. You might be actively reaching out to friends, and it's also a fantastic and exciting time for chemistry perspective romantically. This is a very this is a very flirtatious and steamy time, a time for hooking up. So there you go. Enjoy. It's also very the time for with a romantic partner with a very impromptu, very spontaneous trip between. At this time frame, like a weekend getaway or of some sort, a small vacation. You may also be feeling a hell of a lot of energy to put into sort of creative project, and for some of you will be feeling so inspired, especially when it comes to do anything with the use of words, like writing a poem, send love messages. Blogging is including because you have to write. I think first, but I do write first, and actually I'm reading what I'm saying now. So that's gonna be very, very good for you. Okay, let's move on. From the 13th until the 30th of March, Mars is in the Gemini in your 5th house, and it's going to be beautiful aspect with the Sun in Aquarius in your 1st house, and it's exact on the 22nd of March. You might be willing to put an effort for the long term, for the long run, when it comes to creative project. And you will be, some of you will be feeling much more confident in your staying powers to work something tangible over time. For some of you, may be feeling like your efforts towards anything creative or romantic in your life is finally paying off. Let's say if you've been dating for some time or looking for a romantic partner, you are likely to meet someone, and that someone is to your standard, that you are willing to work with and keep a fight to maintain the relationship. Okay, on the 13th of March, the new moon in Pisces, in your 2nd house of money and income, the values, it's conjunct Venus, Neptune, sextiling Pluto in Capricorn in your 12th house. It is a very positive, very unexpected news financially making its way to you. So it could be the money that you forgot about, or something that was owed to you by someone for the services you provided a while back and that you didn't get paid. Well, it is coming to you now. So, yung mga may utang, magbabayad na. but there's definitely money coming to you around this time. It is also very likely that for some of you there is an unexpected project, or it's the way, or it's on your way. It's on its way to you, and it's a very lucrative project. Around the 13th of March, you did not see it coming. So it's coming around the 13th of March. You didn't see it coming. It's really very unexpected proposal, an out of the blue thing. Okay, let me. Your talent, for some of you, your talent will be acknowledged more at this time as well. And this project is most likely, coincidentally, is aligned with your belief system, foreign ideas, or anything that you are willing to fight for at a conceptual level. From the 1st until the 19th of March, from the 21st until, let me do that one. Okay, from the 21st until the 19th of March. No. Sorry. From the 13th until the 19th of March, Venus conjunct the Sun in Pisces in your second house of income and money, continuing to sextile Pluto in your 12th house. You might be, as well as a result of the new moon, maybe splurge a bit on yourself, perhaps giving yourself a treat to go on a holiday. If you can't go on holiday at the moment, then maybe at least purchasing a ticket or plan for a holiday. Okay, so or also it could also be like a spa break, depending on where you live in the world. In place of lockdown, perhaps it's just a short trip or a weekend getaway. Okay, from the 20th of March until the end of the month, the focus will be shifting towards your third house of learning, movement and communication, siblings, logical minds, social interactions. Social interactions. The Sun is entering Aries in this part of your chart, followed by Venus entering Aries on the 21st until the 14th of April. For some of you, you're going to be very persuasive on the 21st until the 14th of April, when Venus is a quarter in a quarter of your third house. You seem to be able to speak honey. Yeah, he's soft-spoken, more diplomatic speaker, and more persuasive speaker around this period. So for some of you, it's a fantastic time for you to buy and sell things, and also good reconnecting with friends or networking. And for some of you, networking and people that can be potential clients, or contacting some people that can be potential clients at some point at this time. It's going to be very productive period for networking and meetings for those who are in a networking business. On the 28th of the month, give and take 3 days before, 3 days after, the full moon in Libra is in your house, triggering the learning ninth house, the axis of learning, ninth house, third house, with a grand trine in air signs. This is actually a good time, and you might say, remember that good stuff that happened on that day? The grand time between your moon and the ninth house is with the long distance travels and belief system, and also the things that related to foreign affairs, Saturn in Aquarius in your first house, and Mars in Gemini in your fifth house. This can be a good news from different angles. It could be very. It could be that you are completing a learning cycle or a very positive news related to exam results. It could be travel matters, immigration or foreign affairs, visas, citizenship. What else? Travel documents. All these are very positive news. So if you're applying for citizenship, chances are you'll get it. If you are renewing your passport or you're applying for a visa, you will get it. It's very, very positive news. Anything to do with foreign affairs and foreign matters. The only shadow cast over this fabulous full moon in Mars in Gemini is square Mercury conjunct Pisces in your second house. That this good news that you are getting seems to be costing you some money. Of course. It's very logical. So you might have to do a little bit of rebudgeting. So don't spend it all the money on the first 3 weeks of the month. And mention that you're gonna splurge. Keep some for this foreign matters because it will come. Okay, so the best days in March is on the 16th, the 18th, and the 22nd and the 31st of March. And the challenging day is on the 24th. Avoid inflammatory speeches at this time, verbal aggressions, just if you the saying, if you have nothing to say, if you have not, okay, kung wala kang magandang sasabihin, wag mo nang sabihin in Tagalog. Sorry, I'm getting mixed up. Okay, so that is for you, Aquarius. And now finally, Pisces. Oh, Pisces, you are the star of this month, especially the first 3 weeks of the month. Everyone is looking at you. Everyone want you to know. Everyone wants to know what you're up to, what you're doing. You will be feeling loved and appreciated pretty much by everyone. So you will be the center stage, and you are shining like you're gonna shine like no one's business. For some of you, it's also actually for most of you, not only some of you, for most of you, you are also very attractive and glamorous this month. You have Venus in conjunct in the corner of your corner until the 30th of March. So in the first 4 days of the month, Venus in Pisces in your first house of identity is sextiling Uranus in Taurus in your third house of siblings, communication, and short distance travel. So any short trips that you would have made in the first 4 days of the month, you are likely to be very, very productive, and it's most likely that you will enjoy it a great deal. If you need to catch up with someone or sell something, this is also a good time. If you need to seal a deal, the first 4 days of the month is a very good time as well. And you will be very charming, shining. You seem to have a way with words as well. On the 4th of March, until the 23rd of March, and from the 4th of March until the 23rd of April, Mars is entering Gemini in your 4th house of home, family, roots, and the past. it seems like you're going to be putting a great deal of energy and money into your home, and you might be renovating your home, buying a new home. You may be going home to visit a family, or could lend a loan to a family member or members. There's a possibility also that for some of you, for some of you, that someone in your family might be suffering inflammatory something, and your inflammatory thing in the body, something to do with health, and you will be inclined to support them and help them, at least with if not with cash, then it's with money. Between the 13th and the 30th of March, Mars in Gemini, in your 4th house, is trining Saturn in Aquarius in your 12th house. If you have any concerns, any worries about your family member or related to related to home endeavor that is going to cost you a great deal of money, it looks like you are receiving confirmation that you will have the right decision to make. That it was the right decision to make or take. In the second part of the month, Saturn, the planet of structure, telling you, yes, you're right to be rebuilding your home structure. For some of you, you seem to be rebuilding some of your living situation, not your home, but the living situation itself. And in any shape or form, it can be very tangible, rebuilding something. Maybe you are moving someplace else. For some people, it's moving somewhere else. And it could also be a metaphorical rebuilding of your relationship with family member, possibly with a father figure. So if you are argument with your father, this time around, I think there will be a reconciliation. Okay, on the 13th of March, the new moon in Pisces in your 1st house of identity and physical body, and in conjunct with Venus and Neptune sextiling Pluto in Capricorn in your 11th house. So, some of you will be feeling reborn in any shape or form, and you will be most likely to come out of isolation. And some of you are, you will be in a period of retrospection. You're gonna be ready to take the world and ready to get together with friends. To get together with friends. Some of you will have more active social life. Something you might have changed your body. Something might have changed in your body, and maybe you might have an announcement to make with your friends. If anything, it's your more endearing to them. It's making you more endearing to them. You may also have a very ready to plan for the future between the 17th and the 19th. And for some of you, it looks like a collaborative efforts that you're involved in a very productive and your relationship is thriving. From the 20th of March until the end of the month, Sun is going to be in Aries in your 2nd house of income, and from the 21st, Venus is also entering in the same part of your chart until the 14th of April. From the 20th until the end of the month, you seem to be much more focused on money, income, talents, developing your skills, monetizing your skills. Some of you, there's a possibility of tangible increase in your income, and you will also find a creative way to spend money, and you will be feeling more appreciated than usual. On the 28th of March, the full moon in Libra in your 8th house of shared resources and partnership, inheritance, and taxes. It's going to be there. The full moon will occur in there. The combination on the financial peak of your financial life involves your partner, be it romantic partner, a spouse, or a business partner. The grand trine in air signs between your moon on the 8th house, Saturn in Aquarius in your 12th house of shadow, what is happening between the scenes, and Mars in Gemini on the 4th house of home and family. It's for some of you, it looks like you're getting along very well with partner, or maybe having a financial, you might be getting along very well with your partner. You might be having the financial resources to put into a home or to buy a home, or your partner might be receiving an inheritance or some kind of insurance money or a tax rebate, or a significant return on investment. All these are most likely to be spent on buying a home, a renovation, or a piece of real estate, or spent on the family. I must say, though, there is money to make in connection with the death through inheritance. You are warned. Because the 12th house and the 8th house, the 12th house the 12th house meaning letting go. Okay, so the best days in March is on the 16th, the 18th, and the 22nd of March, including the 31st. And the challenging day is the 24th of March, to avoid arguments, inflammatory speeches at this time, or verbal aggression. It could lead to, not good. So, that's it for me. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you again next month for the forecast for April. Bye for now.